Do you think there's a right time to introduce your kids to someone new that you're dating after you get divorced? We're the X Experts. I'm Jessica. This is TH. We are the hosts of the Divorce Etc. podcast, which is on all podcast platforms. And this is a conversation that a lot of people have asked us about and that we've been having recently. Is there a right time? I'm going to jump in and say I don't think that there's a right time, because I think there are so many moving parts and different factors that go along with it. My kids were 2 and 4 when we first got divorced.
Right.
So I met someone 9 months later, and we were together for more than a year, a little over a year before he met my kids. And it was under the pretenses of like, this is my friend, because they were just so young.
Right.
But I think if I got divorced when my kids were 15 and 17, it might have been earlier on, because I had known with that person that it was a significant relationship. We ended up staying together for 5 years, and I knew that pretty early. And so maybe I would have introduced them to my kids after 3 months if I felt like it was significant.
Or at least tell your kids that you're dating.
Right. So
and at least be transparent about it.
But this is like a judgmental argument from so many people of like, you shouldn't do this. You have to wait, this amount of time. And, your kids have to be this age and you have to have this conversation first. So what do you think? How long was it when you were dating someone before you ever introduced them to your kids?
So I waited probably about a year. Even though I had been dating during that year.
Yeah.
I waited about a year to maybe even longer, maybe 2 years. But after a year, they were like, where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Where am I? Who am I with? What am I doing? I don't know.
Right.
I wasn't even doing anything bad.
Right.
But
you feel like you have to hide
my kids were 8, 6, and 4. And so 2 years later, you're talking about 6, 8, and 10. And their dad already had somebody new in his life. And I was really more afraid of telling my kids that I was dating, because I didn't want to complicate their lives any more than they already were. They already had somebody new. And if I didn't have anybody serious, like, why was I going to complicate things?
Right.
So I kind of just kept it to myself as long as I could. And almost at the end of that one relationship in Connecticut, then we introduced all of our kids. Forget about him. And then I was like, they're all staring at each other like, whatever. Yeah. So it's based on your circumstance. Trust your gut. You're not going to hurt your kids.
Right.
You just have to talk to them and listen to them. And, dating is for you.
Right.
It's not for them. They're not going on the date.
Right.
So do it all about you is my feeling. And then if it gets serious, then obviously the kids are going to have to come into the picture. But if you're just out like kind of, I hate the word whoring around, but if you're whoring around or having fun, your kids don't have to meet like your random
I don't
dates.
even think it necessarily has to be whoring around. If you are out on the apps and you're actively dating and you're going out 2 times a week or several times a month, clearly your kids don't need to be meeting all of your dates.
But why do people even do that?
That's another conversation.
Right.
I don't know. But
anyway,
we want to hear from you guys.
Question.
Is there a right time to introduce your kids to someone new after you get divorced? And what are the details and circumstances?